Hello, guys. Welcome back. Some people more ready than others. Astini pulling a winter here, or a classic homage to the last season. And we, we were back with game number 2 between Infamous and Thunder Awaken. Very, very excited for the second game of the series, seeing if Thunder Awaken can really pull it back. Now I ask you, Astini, you are excited for this game. So what does Thunder Awaken, what should they do different? What do you think was wrong in the proposition they could fix for game number 2?
I think they should first phase ban TA, because there's a chance that they go for TA again, and basically you're playing against the enemy's team best strategy, and they tried counters, even though it was a last pick, they were prepared for it with Batrider and Darkseer. So I think they should ban this hero. They already taken out the enemy best strategy, and think a little bit more about this distribution of farm between cores. But it's something that I feel somehow the play style, because you see like Dark Mago buying back with 12 minutes to turn a team fight. That's really good for the Luna because you get a lot of kills, but for his game it's terrible. So they need to be a bit more selfish, I guess.
Okay. Winter, for on the Infamous side, what do you think worked out so well for them? Was it really just a TA comfort pick, or was it something else that you think stood out to you?
I think they just took the team fights really well. Like the Vision game with the TA traps, the Beastmaster, they always got really good initiations with the Grim plus the Doom. The Raw, even like there was this one fight at the Roche Pit. They used Doom and Raw on the Luna, just stopping her from doing DPS, and they could have they killed the rest of the Luna's teammates, and she couldn't really do much later in the game. But at the same time, in the team fights, I felt like the Wyvern, he wasn't really allowed to contribute much in the game. You know, we didn't really see big curses that turn team fights around, or good co-embraces that turn things around, and that's a result of because nobody was really standing in front before the Luna got really fat, so it was really hard for the Wyvern to turn the team fights around. So I think in the next game I would like to see maybe a more well executed team fights and itemization, so that they can really use their teammates, every one of their teammates really well. You can't just rely on one person to do everything.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We have the Marcy, the TS, the bands for Thunder Awaken, by the way. So on point to Steenie. Thank you for coming for the panel today. And the Doom is really the pick once again for Infamous. Did you find success in that Doom, Steenie? Do you think it was a really solid pick there, or do you think it worked because of the draft that Thunder proposed?
It was really good. It was really good because he scales so well that he becomes the fourth core, and it means a lot in this meta. So I think the hero does have the value, no matter if you're with or without Greenstroke. Like now he's even better because he's without Greenstroke. So yeah, really, really good hero. And the thing that made Doom really good was the Beastmaster with the Vision. It's something that Winter was talking about, that they had like no frontliner on the side of Thunder. But Infamous, they didn't have as much, but they had the Vision with the Hawk, and that's what they go for again. Perfect pick. The Beastmaster, he enables a lot this Doom because you can find your targets.
Now this time they will be running the Beastmaster once again, though. As you said, no Grimstroke, though. You already outlined the strength of the Beastmaster Doom, and this allows Infamous to once again have this aggressive lineup or aggressive playstyle that they like to do so well. Do you think the Mars might change this around Winter, though, for Thunder Awaken? Is he a hero that brings you more team fight? Maybe last game with Darkseer was a bit different.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more easier to, rely on Mars in like early fights before you have a lot of items. I think Darkseid is stronger the later the game goes, but Mars is just in general more reliable throughout the game, and you give your team kind of a half frontliner or semi frontliner compared to the Darkseid in the early stages. You have a more reliable lockdown. Your laning phase is also pretty decent, and yeah, I think overall Mars is just a very solid hero.
Do you think it matters if they put him as the 3 or as the 2? Because I know they like to flex it a bit.
I think with the nerfs, I kind of feel like maybe a 3 is much more suitable. He's not so strong anymore as a mid laner, but we'll have to see.
What do you think was considerable about the nerfs? Because it's just a little bit of damage and the stun time, right?
The
So
stun duration. I think the stun duration
yeah.
for me is a big deal for the hero.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We see some of the bands here, Thunder Awaken, Interestingly enough, they still think it could be a mid Doom because they get rid of the Timber Saw just in case. It was one of Sacred's favorite heroes, and in general, all South American players do play it. So that's what can we see here for a combination with the Grimstroke, Astini? You talked about how you're not a big fan of the Doom Grimstroke. What's heroes that you do like seeing with the Grimstroke instead?
I'd like to see a hero that enables the Mars the same way that Beastmaster is enabling the Doom. A hero that
Okay.
can give you vision and find targets. Timbersaw could be this hero by frontlining. Now they have something like a Night Stalker. It's a hero that you can just like pop your ultimate and you're gonna have the vision advantage. I'd love to see a hero like Night Stalker providing this vision.
Wasn't that Void nerf pretty strong though on Night Stalker? Like 10 extra mana for him. It's kind of impactful. Laning speed.
Yeah, the lane is not that good, but from what we've seen in the latest games, it's not mattering that much. Like it's gonna
Okay.
be he's gonna suffer before nighttime anyway, and when it's nighttime he's gonna recover. So I think it's
Okay.
worth having a hero with not a great lane, but having this vision advantage.
For now, they'll go for Trient. Does that fulfill the vision role a little bit, would you say? Because he is a hero that can frontline a little bit, you know, hide in the trees.
It should, but not against Beastmaster. Against Beastmaster, I really don't like that much. You're not gonna have a good lane. Also, you can go for the axes and break the trees, and he's always gonna have the vision of you with the Hulk. So I don't like that much for the vision thing. But it's still a hero that pierces BKB. So there is value on this hero for sure.
Right. Also protects tower, doesn't it, Winter? So it could stop the early aggression from the Beastmaster.
Wow, Alchemist.
Oh, wow.
He got a change to the out, right? Lower cooldown or something.
Yeah, I think it's longer duration, I want to say. There's more uptime for the ultimate, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, longer duration and lower cooldown.
Oh, yeah, both. Okay, so there's more uptime overall. It's great. So what do you think of the Alk right now? Oh, Astini?
They increase both, actually. So
Oh,
they
they
increase
increase-
the duration, but they
and
also
cooldown.
increase the cooldown.
But it's overall better, right? Still a buff? I recall doing the calculations of how long it can stay up.
Yeah, it's a buff
Okay.
because you have 5 seconds more of team fight from 25 to 30, and like the cooldown increase just compensates the downtime. So it's a buff, definitely. But I think it's a quite greedy lineup to have Doom and Alchemist, to have two heroes that doesn't do much on the early game and just gonna be farming. I told that I like their farming distribution, but now I feel it's too greedy of a lineup.
Do you
I feel
think
like
the
they
Viper...
have 4 cores.
You feel like the Viper fixes this a little bit by being like a really strong laner and kind of mitigating the early more, or is that not enough?
I don't think so, because you
Okay.
do get that nice laning stage, but on the other hand, he's a hero that he doesn't do much in the map, so you're not like creating some chaos. So your Doom is farming, your Alchemist is farming, and it's not like a... He's so slow, he cannot work well with the Beastmaster also. I don't feel good about this draft.
Okay. Talk about Chaos, though. Winter, on the other side, we see the Chaos Knight being picked. Small nerfs to the hero, but most people still classify him as one of the stronger heroes. As a sustaining lane, obviously, still very powerful. Do you still rank him highly? And how do you think he matches up against the Alchemist?
I think his laning phase is still good, still very strong. One of the strongest laners. And against Beastmaster, you want to have a safe laner
Strong
that can
laner.
kill the ball easily in the lane, and you can kill him as well with the CK plus Grimstroke. And against Elk, he definitely has a very, I feel like a very good matchup against the Elk throughout the game. If he's not too far behind, if he has a good laning phase, he's always going to be able to kill the Elk. And I agree with Astini that I think that this Elk Doom lineup, they don't really have that enough to hold the game long enough for them to outgreed their opponents. You know, this lineup needs a lot of farm, and they at the moment their lineup, I don't see like how they can hold the first 15-20 minutes for the cause to farm.
Do you have any ideas for what the last pick could be that could maybe help this out?
They need a tower defender / early game hero, because I assume this Viper is gonna be like a position 5 Viper, which
Sure.
you're not gonna be useful outside of the laning phase.
So what do you lean towards then? Well, what are your thoughts here then? Could they run a Cuddle mid and then run Alk carry? Is that a possibility here?
Yeah, Koto would definitely fit their lineup. They need someone that can delay the game, like Koto Park mid. clear waves, go for some catch here and there. But at the
Mm.
same time, Quarter also needs a lot of farm, so he's also considered. For me, he's also a very greedy core.
Okay, fair enough. What would be a non-greedy core then? If say you're looking for a mid laner, because carries are all greedy, right? So what would be a mid laner that could fit here, Winter?
Pango will be less greedy and can hold the game.
Okay.
But you're up against so many counters, Trion and Grimstroke. But he does fit the game, the kind of game that they're looking to play.
Any ideas, Astini? Oh, sorry. go ahead,
No,
Conco.
because the puck was banned and they banned Concord themselves, and those I think would be the best two heroes. So I guess they just go with a spirit like Amber, so you can split the map. I guess Amber is the one that makes most sense on that point, or maybe like Nature's Prophet, because Alone loved the hero in the past.
That's true. Oh, look at you,
Wow.
Astini. Why didn't you say Nature's Prophet, Winter? What's up with you? Huh?
So what's the so the MP's mid, right? MP's mid, so everybody's farming.
Yes.
What the heck?
Yes, everybody's farming. That's the plan, man. If you go greedy, you go full greed or go home, essentially. How does Thunder Awaken punish this then? Can you pick it like a pusher mid, for example? What's the best idea to punish this, Winter?
Storm is better rider.
It's like a
Bat Rider-
spirit?
No, I mean I think anything they can just own the lane. I think if the MP doesn't get a good lane and everybody needs to farm, it's just GG for them. Just
Okay.
get a
Like
good
Wink.
matchup and crush the lane.
Oh,
Real.
whoa.
Wait, Brew? So
Mars
who's
mid then.
Mars mid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna find out. There we go. Mars mid. All right. So what brew? Astini, what are your thoughts on this?
Gives you a lot of team fight, but the enemy team had none already. I don't know. Maybe just believe it's a strong lane together with the green stroke. Can Inkswell get the extra move speed and hit the targets? You can remove the alchemist from the team fight, and he's gonna be like this core with all the net worth in the game. But overall, I don't like that much the pick, so I cannot explain it so much.
Fair enough. Winter, you have any ideas as to why the brew?
I think probably two things like I think Astini mentioned already. The laning with the Grim Stroke, very strong. And because Elk is going to soak up all the net worth and then you just need to put him in the air. And there goes your Elk. That's probably the main idea behind the pick.
And with that in mind, Winter, what draft do you prefer here? Do you like the greed, or would you go for the more normal one?
Nah, I think we're gonna go for a game 3 here. I don't like the
Okay.
greed. It's too much. There's good greed and there's too much greed, and this is too much greed.
Okay. Astini, what about you?
If it's a normal game, Thunder is winning this in 20 minutes or less. But SA, they're never normal games, so I'm very excited to see what happens.
That's a good assessment. As Steenie said, SA, they specialize in hitting creeps, but does that mean a lineup that only hits creeps? Is it going to be good enough to beat out Thunder Awaken a second time? We're going to have to see as we go over to our casters, Gareth and Lacoste.
Yeah, I mean, green is good. Golden green, as Nature's Prophet loves to say. Lacoste, that is a greedy draft from Infamous, isn't it? Thunder with lots of team fight to match up against that greed. Do you reckon this is going to go to game 3?
One of the greedier one I've seen in a while. This is like 5 Viper, Alchemist, Nature's Prophet. Man, imagine being Alchemist in this game. You're farming a big stack. Suddenly, Nature's Prophet ulti hits, and it's like ding, 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 ding. He steals everything. Like he steals even extra gold from you. So they got to be careful about that. This is like Doom position 4 as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this might be over very quickly. They have heroes that can run at them with the Mars, with the CK. They have what it takes to delay the game, like with Treant Protector, Brewmaster pick. I kind of like it. I feel what Panel talked about. These two things that lanes well with the Grimstroke and also great against the Alchemist. Also, like, you're not going to be using any of these big abilities to kill the Brewmaster. So that means that he has guaranteed split in a fight. Like, I don't think he's going to get roared. I don't think he's going to get doomed. They want to save that for someone else. And then you have Treant Protector with the living armor or just coming in with the overgrowth, resetting the fight. Like, even Grimstroke like post 15 minutes, will have a shard. So having a strong dispel mechanic is going to be really good. We see some adjustments already. Matthew, starting with headdress.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the previous game. The Sal's being nerfed, having that constant regen in the lane always feels incredibly good. Basically, what I'm hearing from the panel and from you is that Infamous need to dominate their lanes and go, 10-0 without spilling a drop of blood, or else they're screwed.
I don't think top lane's going to be dominated. It's Beastmaster plus Doom. They had it in the previous game. They lost the lane. Now they're playing against Treant Protector and CK, 2 melee heroes. So CK can crit off. Like, he did get nerfed, but these are slight nerfs. I don't think that matters too much. And also with Treant Protector, if they want to keep battling, like, he gets a point in Leech Seed. CK is never dying. I also want to touch up on Viper as a 5. I think these position 5s that can go in, trade, die, and come back to lane, we're going to see more of those. Viper's probably one of the better ones. I think we're going to see heroes like Clockwork, because he got a little bit of a buff, and also, like, he's not as greedy.
The Chaos Bolt, it finishes him. And there is that bit of blood spilt on the floor. Already top lane not going well for the Radiant, while bottom lane Sacred TPing back to his tier 1. He's not dying. He was close to death. Lots of stacks of poison on him. Yeah, it's a good point you make about that. It's been a topic for the past 2 years or so, right? That regen trade, the battle of salves and tangos early on. Having a hero that can just go in and win that trade kind of automatically gives you a nice upper hand in the laning stage. Sneaky little move by Matthew, dragging the wave so it can't be pulled. Axel can't maneuver that creep equilibrium. While Sacred is pulled into large camp. So getting the most out of that bottom lane as he gets cycloned around by the Wild Wing.
This is a killer lane. I like that Alchemist started with the unstable concussion. That's also a killer lane, exactly. He put the point in the Leech Seed. Usually, I'm not a big fan of this spell unless you get the value from it. That I think in this lane they're gonna get a lot of from it. Depends. I don't think you need to put more, because value from living armor is insanely good because it's global. You can save people. You can heal the towers, but they're gonna go in again. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Still, this should be a kill as well.
Yeah, still zones the Beastmaster away from tower, and he might have to walk back through it. And he actually turns and fights Pandamu.
Perfect.
At least gets the trade. But that's all the XP into the CK.
Exactly. Like, this is just not getting any better for Thunder Awaken. So Treant Protector comes back to lane. You can still buy mangoes for your carry. It's full. It's not halved, so he's gonna come back, use some mangoes on Pakaz so he can have mana and they continue to play aggressive.
Yeah, just continue spamming. So top lane going very well for Thunder. That mid lane, how is it? Looks like Mars is creeping ahead in terms of CS. Is this what you expect?
19 against 12. That's quite a lot. Like, Nature's Prophet does have a little bit more denies, but I think having extra damage, I don't remember seeing this matchup because I don't see Nature's Prophet on the mid lane often, but I feel like Nature's Prophet should have a little bit more. Mars on the mid lane always surprises me how well he does, so maybe I'm just having a little bit of a bad read on the hero. I'm like, oh, Mars again. Like, he plays against Puck. Mars, like, dominates the lane. And I always get surprised. Alone, trying to TP.
Yeah, Oscar salving. Pandamu was very low, and now it looks like they want to try and make the play onto Pakaz. The Wild Axes and the Sprouts there. The CK down. Pandamu trades yet again, bringing Oscar down. But they'll move into the trees and find the Treant himself. He's going to snipe a courier on his way down, though. So not too bad from Thunder, but that is an absolutely necessary rotation from Alone.
He got 2 kills. What is he bringing on the courier? It's full power treads. He's a little bit low on mana. Would definitely love to TP and come back, but that means Dark Mago is getting some solo XP on a mid lane, getting some free farm, 27 CS. Once he gets Arena, you need to be careful. But also alone, once he hits level 6, doesn't have much mana to work with bottom lane. It's a lot of harassment. 5-stack, he's dead. Ooh.
The tower regen kicks in, and top laner going again. Stun onto Michael, but he's under tower himself. Oscar turns. Level 2 axes, going to do some serious damage. They've also got a salve for the CK. But yeah, I have the same feeling about Mars, and it often feels like this situation where these hero specialist players, Dark Margo is Mars, his Batrider is Tiny. When he comes out with his Mars mid, you just don't really feel it coming in the draft, and then he shows you 34-10 against a 19-9. Nature's Prophet, he usually does exceptionally well in these lanes, getting handled by Dark Margo.
Red of Nature is online. Like, it's very similar to Zeus. You want to get a kill on the side lane with it. He's thinking about it, has TP ready, but seems like Thunder Awaken has a very good read. They're not showing heroes. We didn't talk about the Alchemist. He's doing fine, 30 CS, has 2 points in Grievel's Greed. He's the most farmed hero in the game if we swap to net worth.
Oh, they throw that Wrath of Nature and TP top. Michael trying to body block Pakaz, but here comes Matthew to turn the tides. Ink swell and the stun lands. Oscar under a Wild Wing Tornado as well, going to die. So
if they can
alone
lose only
TP
Oscar,
top.
that's good. That's completely fine. Dark Mago,
Yeah, there's his arena.
he finds him.
Gets Michael on the retreat. And that's one rotation from Radiant. 2 rotations from Dire, but they get that double kill into their hands. Is that Infamous feeling they need to remove any pressure from Parker's Alc, just give him complete free farm, alone trying to force these moves?
I think they wanted to just use this Rat of Nature to get something done, but got outnumbered.
Double Dire vision around that bottom rune spot. Sees Axel coming, but he still blocks small camp with a sentry ward. 7 minutes in.
Look at the lanes. Infamous doesn't have anyone on the mid lane, and there's no one on the bottom lane as well. So that means that Thunder Awaken, like 2 heroes, aren't gonna get complete free farm.
Yeah, Parker now exclusively jungling. Alone shows top with his Prophet. Oscar is still level 5, so no Raw. Has to start the fight with Michael's Infernal Blade. Parker's with his living armor on. He's tanky, but I don't know if he can withstand the brute force of this Boar and Doom surrounding him. And Alone, on a killing spree now, can transfer that 1 kill into a tower.
This Tornado,
Concoction.
like, you don't expect... It's a lot of mana. It's 100 mana. But still, like, this is the spell that got buffed. Because it lingers, like, after you cancel it. I don't think they got much from this position 5 Viper. This could have been any other hero.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a decent job of starting this fight. Allows Alone to TP in and take down Pandamu. Viper surviving. The Warpine Raiders can't finish him off. Michael and Alone now a little trapped on his high ground, and the Brew split. And he's going to arrive. Dark Margo makes short work of that Viper as Oscar falls to Pakaz in the top lane, and Alone still stuck here in the northern jungle. Yeah, you can taunt all you want, but you're having pebbles thrown at you by a Brewmaster, and Thunder Awaken gifted 3 kills.
It's a lot of kills, but that also means that Parker is getting some solo time in the jungle, because they were fighting all the time. There are no stacks being made for Alchemist. Once he gets the Relic, then it's like safe territory.
He's not far off it, is he? What, 1,300, 1,200 gold away. It definitely feels like Infamous are just throwing bodies into that top part of the map. Take the tier 1, make Thunder feel uneasy. Even if they're getting kills, they're still behind in net worth overall. And they're probably feeling like the way the game 1 went, they've got the vision advantage with Hawk, they've got global presence from the Prophet, Alk farming a hell of a lot. This greedy draft, has it been punished enough in the first 10 minutes?
I don't think
like
so.
No.
But usually with Alchemist's draft, like, you want to stay ahead. If they find him
If they
here.
can find him. They get Parker. He's in ulti form for another 10 seconds or so. Very tanky. The full force of the Dire squad surrounding him, but Parker surviving now alone arrived. TP's in, Sprouts Pandamu. They won't lose the Alk, and they'll get a freebie on the Treant. Doom is there chasing the Grimstroke, but he's speared away, and a deny is incoming from Dark Margot. As he escapes the Sprout himself.
This is big. Like, this is huge for Alchemist. Because he had extra bit of stats from the pig pole, and he got some solo levels, so getting the extra stats from that as well when you level up. I think that's what made a little bit of a difference there. And now he's gonna have Relic. Like, they know. Like, Alchemist, he's a weird hero. He's like, okay, if you don't shut him down early on, you're gonna have a problem. He has that Radiance, he's gonna have a BKB. I see Blink Dagger next. Oh, we'll see if he decides to go for it. We'll definitely need... Like, maybe he doesn't feel BKB is needed because he's playing into Treant Protector, so a lot of players just get Manta style, and also BKB did get nerfed. But playing into Mars, playing into Brewmaster, you might need to have, like, some sort of magic immunity, dispel, something, because...
Status resist, like something.
Exactly, exactly. Because Brewmaster, his job in the fights is going to be use the Primal Split, get the Cyclone, or 2 on Parker, so he can be the one dealing the damage.
Yeah, like, would you be mad if he bought a Halberd or something, or S and Y?
Like, Halberd value only against the CK. He already does have evasion from the Radiance. Evasion from Radiance did get buffed. Anyway, like, it still works even through BKB because it's made from Talisman of Evasion instead of the recipe. I don't think so. I think he just goes for, call it, standard normal items. I feel like the value from AC is going to be really good in this game against the CK, against Mars, Brewmaster.
I guess one of those biggest threats is him being blown up by Phantasm, God's Rebuke, inside an arena. Michael the Doom caught out by the 4-hero smoke from Thunder. Swinging towards that top triangle where they maybe hope to find an Alchemist. And he is down south. Mars, showing off this freshly purchased Blink Dagger, though. Going to find the second support in Axel. And transition that into a tier 1 push, it looks like.
Dark
There's
Mago,
a lot of room, though, for Alk to take stacks and, alone pushing out lanes as well.
with a bit of a different item build from mid-Mars from what I see. Like, sometimes I feel there's a lot where people just get a BKB. They're like, okay, I'm a mid-Mars, my carry is going to do the thing. It depends who you have as an offlaner. Because Brewmaster can't just go in and initiate, neither can the Grimstroke nor Treant Protector. If this is like melee position 4, Clockwork, Earth Spirit, someone that can start a fight, maybe he would go for a different item. But yeah, it feels like they needed it.
Yeah, someone to try and make moves like this. Jump, spear back, stun and catch Parker, and try and bring him down with the overgrowth. Locking him down, he does get taken out. Bruce split. Now isolating the Doom. Matthew very low, though, in the midst of all that damage. Getting killed off. A 1-for-1 trade. They kill off this Parker Alchemist, but Thunder going to lose out a couple of heroes here if the chase continues. Parker's, he's got different thoughts, though. Jumps back in with Dark Margot, blows up the Viper, and we still don't have a lone Nexus Prophet really joining in the battle because he has run himself away from this.
They needed those two items. Alchemist, he didn't send Courier. Like, look at his gold. He didn't get any gold from that previous fight. Oh, another great spear.
Alone. This concoction's going to come towards Pakas, though, and the Radiance burn damage starting to do work, but he cuts out the trees and always been healed up, and Armlet toggles to safety.
Oof, if Infamous had two big items, because he could have bought Radiance, and with the miss chance, I don't think he dies. And also Nature's Prophet, if he had his Orchid, he can easily TP. So they needed like 20 seconds, maybe, max, to be able to have these two items, and then it's a completely different fight. And this is the fight that they needed to win. With the Alchemist, like, you want to be snowballing. Like, you want to be the one with the lead. If you look at the net worth, it says 1k less than 1k. With the Alchemist, you want this number to be higher.
Yeah, you sure do. I think it's definitely a good showing from Dark Margo with that blink, right? I think you were talking about the BKB. He's also very often gone for phase boots and then blink, or phase then BKB. But opting to just straight up rush it has allowed him to get kills on Nature's Prophet.
It's about that
initiation onto the Alchemist.
Cyclone from the Brewmaster. And also, like, right now, he's not as tanky. They can still burst him. Doom's gonna be available in 30. They will have a Blink Dagger on Doom in 300 gold as well. So they... Like Thunder Awaken, they know with the split available in 15, they can take these fights. Also Spirit Vessel, so there's going to be a lot of healing reduced from that Alk.
Yeah, he kind of halted his Aghanims build, got the Ogre Axe, and then was like, I need a Spirit Vessel. Let's finish that off first. Good escape, though, from Infamous, TPing 2 heroes out of top, where Thunder was starting to converge.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, 7 kill difference, but Radiant, like you've been saying, this Alchemist, that net worth lead is pretty much always going to be there. And mid-tier 1 still standing on the Radiant side is something that Thunder are angling towards. Dark Margo frontlining. Centaur going to catch the creep wave. Make sure they limit as much damage as they possibly can. Michael and Axel hunting. Viper with pretty much no items. He's got a fluffy hat and a bracer. Michael with that blink, though, is the big difference maker if they could make the jump.
Alchemist is not getting a lot of farm. He's sitting inside the trees. You want to be the one... Like, the rest of the team needs to do something so that Alchemist can farm. Like, they need to smoke, and I think they need to smoke closer to Alchemist so that he can be the one joining the fight. He does have a Blink Dagger to close the gap as well on top of that, but they definitely need to do something. They need to take some pressure off Alk right now.
Thanks. So he gets jumped again. Is danger zone for Dark Margo, though. Doomed up, but the poison attack's flying. They soulbound up Michael and they cyclone the Alchemist. Team fight
Another deny.
Plan for the Dire, and another deny onto Dark Margo, but Michael dropping and the Radiant running out of gas have got to reset and reconsider how they start this fight, because Puckars, he's there blowing up Oscar. Down he goes. Matthew follows. Alchemist, he's not got no ulti anymore. They're just hitting crit down by the CK. Axel turned into a piggy, running and sprinting, oinking his way back towards Fountain, but the Reality Rift will slow his retreat, and a double kill picked up by Puckars Chaos Knight. Has pretty much put this game to rest, it feels like.
There's no follow-up. They initiate with the Doom. They need something. Like, Nature's Prophet doesn't feel too comfortable deeping in. Like, he had this Orchid. I don't think we've seen the real usage of the Orchid. It also comes down to them having position 5 Viper, so he can't really do much. He's not a playmaker in a team fight. He wants to go in and, like, get some poison stacks, Viper strike someone, and die. But CK is doing too much. Like, they don't have the AoE needed. The only AoE that they got is pretty much Alchemist. They also need Beastmaster to be using his Wild Axes, since Beastmaster has 7 deaths. Gareth. Whew.
Yeah.
That helm was first delayed, and now he's going into Raid Pact.
Oh, wow.
I've seen that. 33 does that.
So not bothering with the Overlord, just stay with the Dominator.
Also,
He's also not playing in the natural place for Beastmaster, it feels like. You know, Radiant top lane, you'd expect him to be hiding in the trees, shoving, split pushing. But the fact they have a Nature's Prophet as well, that's where Alone has made his home. So Oscar hasn't really had position to farm. I guess that's just how things are when you have an Alk and a Prophet on your team, right?
it's
You have
super
these
greedy.
greedy
Like,
ass
someone
heroes,
has to
someone
suffer.
has to suffer.
Exactly. I don't know, Gary. We've been casting this game for a very long time, so we say the same things.
Which is beautiful when it happens like that.
Because we're both wrong, yeah, that's why.
Is under attack.
I mean, what's the move then? Do you want Infamous to try and make a move, or you just casually just let your Viper die and soak up the pressure while your Alk continues farming?
BKB. This is what they're looking for on Parker. Potentially the one on Alone, but I don't think they can sync it up. So they're gonna need to take a fight before that.
Just wait and bide your time. There's plenty for Thunder to get out on the map and do. Still playing under their own vision, as Matthew has had that set up in the bottom jungle for quite a while. Getting Dark Margot closer to his BKB as well. What's the chances for... Oh, hang on a second. Dark Margot. Oh, he's got a haste rune. Can they catch this man? Oh, they might be able to. Blink the Doom. They've got rid of the haste, and now he's in trouble. Out you go, Dark Margot. Kicked out of that bottom lane.
Big kill. It also, like, delays the game a little bit. Ooh, Thunder Awaken. They want to take the fight.
We can just blow up the Viper easily. Still under that bit of vision.
I know South America loves Position 5 Viper. I've seen this hero work amazing in some of these games, especially when Pandabu is playing it. It's like, oh, you trade, your carry dies, then you get the kill, you come back, you have a level advantage, so you don't die because you have a point in the corrosive skin. It's a hero that, like, it's straight up hit or miss.
What's the chances of Thunder Awaken just going and taking Roche, just brute forcing?
Oh, with CK, I think they can. Ideally, you would want to get a pick off before that. Alchemist, he has BKB flying to him.
Incredibly important, and a blink away from Michael, but Dark Margot and Parkaz, they've spotted Parker. Forced his BKB out, no Chemical Rage though, and CK whacking away, but he's been roared and halted under this tier 2 tower. Infamous holding their own even as they get overgrowth. The Treant very close to death, but Parkaz is the target they really want. Can they kill him off? They've got the jump from Michael again. The Infernal Blade and a beautiful stun. Matthew now in a lot of trouble, and Parker has got his Chemical Rage ready. Sacred, he finally gets the ulti off. But what can he do? Cyclone the Elf can run away, maybe kill Michael on the retreat, but he's just got to bail. They can't finish anybody off.
They're chasing.
Infamous
He
under
wants
the tower. They hold, they kill, but they chase.
Figuring out. I think it's Roche time. With the acid spray, they do have enough. Beastmaster has Inner Beast, extra damage. I think Wraith Pact is what made the difference in that fight. Because they were fighting underneath the tower, so you get extra armor, you get extra regen as well, and then you have this Wraith Pact, so minus 30% damage is gone.
How quickly the tide changes. We were just talking about Thunder taking Roshan after a pick, and they go a little too deep. Lose a team fight, lose Roshan, and now Aegis in the hands of Parker's Alchemist. Still only about 1,500 ahead of his counterpart, the CK. So not a massive gap, but you do have a pretty damn farm Nature's Prophet, you know, alone spending out all of his money for a BKB. So this is the big timing that Infamous are looking to hit.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet's big, especially with the BKB. Like, they still have abilities that can go through magic immunity. CK is getting a lot of levels. He's level 18. He has this insanely good level 20 talent, Reality Rift versus spell immunity, and then he can focus him down. Their AoE is a bit limited. That's why he's building into Maelstrom / Gleipnir to try to keep people in place. It's a good chase item, has something to deal with the illusions as well on top of that.
And especially if the Treant is, like, you know, hiding in the trees, you can just go up there into the trees, find him.
Dire's top tower.
And don't get too much out of the map, though, Infamous, outside of the Roshan and the Aegis. Tier 1 still being healed up by the living armor. They are carving a bit of the map down towards bottom for themselves, and actually playing in towards the Nature's Prophet, showing the Alcon lane as well. And now Thunder know that there's the position 1 and 2 are bottom. You kind of expect everybody else to be in there behind them.
It's a lot of damage on the ground, Gary. If they throw Acid Spray, Wraith Pact, and just Nether Toxin, if someone stands inside, they just straight up die.
What
Even
type of damage is Wraith
Earth.
Pact?
It's magical.
It's magical. Oh, Parker's in with a 2-man concoction. Holy shit, he's just going to kill off Grimstroke, and they got the Roar as well onto Sacred. Oh my god, Thunder. No way. No way.
That was beautiful.
Infamous just get 3 sick kills. Into the tier 1 they go. The greedy draft that we thought would have problems, it's coming into its own. It's blooming, it's blossoming.
It really is. And this is going to be full AC. This is going to be a tier 2 tower. 45 seconds without a CK. Like, he definitely does not want to buy back here. So, Alchemist, still 2.5 minutes left. This tower is gone.
Dire's structures are falling.
Even with the glyph. They delay it. They try and heal it. But away it goes.
Dire's middle
Parker swings his fist. And now the outpost is open to them as Alone is also shoved out top lane. But they've got another opening onto a tier 2 tower or a fight on this bit of high ground that they are controlling. It feels like so often it comes down to the vision that's placed, you know, like, as a POS 5 player myself, I do like to harp on about the wards, but yeah, there's the Beastmaster as well, there's Treants, and there's another jump in. Sacred demolished, BKB out from Parker's out, focusing Packard, the CK's in trouble. He's got a BKB and run, but he's been roared and sprouted. Held in place, the arena's gonna defensively keep them at bay. They overgrowth the arena, but they're gonna lose Pandamu and probably Dark Margot as well. He can't cut through the sprout. He's got no quelling blade. It's in his backpack, so he's stuck here, bulwarking and trying to hold his ground as Matthew's being pummeled by Affliction's Viper, and Michael jumps in, helps secure the kill. Thankfully, the Thunder Dark Margot survives, but my goodness.
This combination of Beastmaster and Doom is working out for them so well. Like, Beastmaster providing vision, Doom finds an opening, like, Nature's Prophet can TP, he feels relatively safe with the BKB. There's still a minute left on that Aegis. These barracks, they're gone, and they can maybe even try to get something done on a mid lane if they want to. If they feel like they should fight Oscar, a bit low on mana.
top barracks has fallen.
It's a full set.
Dire's middle tower
50 seconds left on Aegis. Probably something that Parker's calling out to his team and saying, hey, maybe not go for the mid, just chill out a little bit. Come back to triangle, go stack the Ancients. There's one Rumble hide in that Ancient camp. Pakaz. There's a Blink Dagger. He's got eyes on. Phantasm stun. Drags the Viper up. Michael's there with a save and help and Affliction.
He got the ghost off.
Scepters himself away. Still dies, but they got the Doom and the damage onto the CK. Well worth it for Infamous. Packers, what are you thinking? Matthews dropping too. He tried a TP in the vicinity of Parker's out. There's no stopping this lad. It's Dark Margot initiated on by Michael. Bruce split two. They cyclone the out and
Aegis
focus
in
the
a
Doom.
second.
There, he's still full HP with BKB though, and they've got a roar onto Dark Margot. Didn't get his bulwark off, so down he drops, concocted and stunned, and 3 heroes dead with no buybacks.
Yeah, I believe this is game, Gary. They just don't have enough. This raid back from the Beastmaster, they're going for the throne. They want to end this one. 35 seconds, CK, Mars, no buyback. They might just end the game. I think this is it.
It looks like it.
He bought Deso.
Sacred. Sacred's going for the primal split to try and delay them, but the throne is falling. Michael being pummeled by the little fire spirit, but Parker and Alone focusing the throne. XDs are dropped and the game will end as a 2-0 for Infamous.
Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, this is the Alchemist, you know. It can go both ways, but they managed, like, that fight near the tier 2 tower mid is what just changed the game. And then another fight after that where Doom gets a good opening on a CK. Like, CK needs to use Phantasm, and he needs to be the one, like, creating confusion so he can't get doomed, and he needs to lock onto target. Last couple of fights, CK just was not able to do that. They had his number.
I'm struggling to think of a bigger upset. Thinking about how Thunder were, you know, undefeated in previous seasons, how they have become the dominant force in South American Dota. Okay, people can take a game off them, people can maybe take a series off them 2-1, but being handled 2-0 like this by Infamous, who are, you know, by all means a middle of the table kind of team, this could have serious ramifications and a shakeup in the South American Tour 3 season.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. I mean, they caused a huge upset, and it also shows the strength of the region. Like, region is getting better. They're swapping in players, and they're fighting like another team that can compete with the top 2 teams from the region.
Yeah, I mean, every win matters, every series matters for TI getting those points up and running. I think it's time to head back to the panel as they can talk a bit more about what this means for the table. Game one of Series 1 of the Tour 3. I mean, Avo, what's the story?
Well, the story, Gareth, is one with a really dark ending for Thunder Awaken. That's the story right now, because Thunder Awaken, by losing this single game, it could be, much like with Beast Coast last season, the one game that sets them apart from this top two, right? As we know in South America, the top two is super competitive. Usually it's Thunder Awaken, Beast Coast, but previously it was Beast Coast who struggled, either because they lost to Infamous, or because they lost to the bottom team in the table SG, typical Beast Coast things. They struggled to manage to get there cleanly, and they sometimes have to go through tiebreakers. They usually actually have to go through tiebreakers to make it to top two. So this loss for Thunder Awaken might force them down the same path, and this gives opportunities to both Infamous and Hokori as well, who are probably happy about this loss from Thunder Awaken to usurp one of those top two slots. Well, let's talk about the games a little bit. Astini, you told me this would be a 25-minute game, and you were right. You were just wrong about who was going to win. Tell me what would happen, dude. What was it that surprised you so much, but particularly the early game here for Infamous?
I think what changed on the game is that the 20-minute team fight where they dive on a tier 2 tower and try to fight there, that was the timing that Thunder should have won the team fight, get the Aegis, and do exactly what Infamous did. So I think it has to do a lot with this team fight. And early game wise, I would expect them to take the safe lane tower earlier. They did take on 18 minutes, and they were just snowballing. They could have taken this tower way earlier, opened the map, and really annoyed the heroes on the enemy jungle, but they just played their side of the map. I guess they weren't aggressive enough on the map, and that made space for the Alchemist to farm his BKB, and once he had the BKB, things got harder.
Hunter, could you add on to that? Is that your assessment of the game as well?
I think also the patch changes meant that certain things are a little bit slower, and maybe it allowed a hero like Elk, because we all look at the draft and oh, this is actually so great. But maybe because the patch actually changed certain things, that actually what they're doing is actually not that greedy. But at the same time, I agree with Astini. They were kind of not aggressive enough. They were a little bit too passive in certain moments, even though they did try to make a couple of moves early on with the CK, or one worked out, one didn't work out, but the Elk was allowed too much space on the map to farm to get his Radiance, and after that he was still allowed to farm his Blink BKB. When he got those 3 items, it was really difficult to take him down in the team fights.
You talked about the MP pick as being a particularly greedy pick, but for the first 10 minutes, it seemed like Cologne was actually kind of all over the map and creating a lot of space. Do you think that really mattered and set for this mid game that you're talking about?
Yeah, it definitely did slow things down, bought some space for the Elk to farm. And I think overall, maybe we were kind of inaccurate to say that the heroes are way too greedy with the Nature's Prophet and Elk combination. Maybe the MP is less greedy hero now because also of how he's being able to be played, helping the side lanes, take down towers and get some pressure on the enemy carry done. So maybe it could work now.
Well, I'm particularly excited to talk to Infamous about what they think about this idea, as we are going to set up an interview with them very shortly. Before that, we're going to take a small break and come back with that interview, hopefully with Oscar, is what Infamous is telling me. So I'll see you guys soon. And we're back, guys. Thank you so much for being patient. We're here with Oscar, the offlaner from Infamous. Oscar, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Felicidades por la victoria. Congratulations. How do you feel after the first win 2-0 against Thunder Awaken?
Hola, hola. Muy contento. Se dieron las victorias, se dieron los drafts fuertes que estábamos preparando para ellos. Y muy contento por la victoria.
He's just very, very happy. He says the drafts worked out, the plays worked out, and he's just very happy about the victory. Your Beastmaster, man, is something we haven't seen in a while. It was absolutely wonderful. You dominated the early, where it was a very Frank style play style, just choked the enemy team completely. How is your thoughts on the heroes right now? Do you feel like he got slept on a little bit last patch, or do you feel like the hero is something that the new patch brought forward?
Espera, ¿respondo en español?
Como quieras, amigo.
Ya.
Si te respondo en español.
No, está bien así. Sí, está bien así. Ya, creo que la última entrevista que me hiciste te comenté que me parecía que el pitch estaba muy fuerte, porque lo había visto en la Major, y que había aprendido de 33 cómo lo jugaba en el mapa, en la línea, la itemización, todo eso. Y sí, lo he estado practicando desde entonces. Y creo que sigue igual de fuerte a lo que estaba en el parche hace una semana, ¿no?
Mm-hmm. So he says he actually talked this last season in an interview, but he was telling us essentially that when he was watching the major, he was watching 3-3 and he thought that the Beastmaster was actually really strong. He thought that 3-3's movements around the map, his optimizations was really clever, and as a result, he tried to imitate, learn from him, and practice it for this next season. And he thought it was strong last match. He thinks it's certainly still strong now, and we kind of saw the performance of it in this particular game. How do you feel for you personally to be able to play so well against Thunder Awaken? Is there a sense of pride there? I mean, I know you guys are still friends and everything, but is there, like, it's una púa un poquito, no? It's nice to be able to beat the rivals, right?
Sí, es chévere vencer tu anterior team. Es chévere, se siente bien.
It feels good, he says.
Sí.
Apart from them being rivals, though, they're also one of the strongest teams in SA. Is this like a huge boost for motivation for this season for Thunder? For Infamous?
Sí, definitivamente. Creemos que Thunder es el equipo más fuerte de la región, ¿no? Y lo demostró en la Major. Y claro, como que dijimos que la primera partida es como que nos va a dar un vistazo de dónde estamos parados y le dimos con todo, ¿no? Ahí sí es un muy buen boost.
They think Thunder is the strongest team in the region for sure, so this is definitely a boost for them. And he also says that this match was like an idea of where do they stand in the region, right? So they were going to see how good they were in the region. And obviously a 2-0 win is like probably the best way to stand in the region against Thunder Awaken. Let's talk about your team a little bit. You guys changed care recently from Lumiere to Parker. How has Parker been fitting in with you guys? Has there been anything special you've done to do team building, any activities you've done outside of Dota?
Bueno, de hecho, ya bastante tiempo que nuestro support, el capitán Affliction, echó los ojos en él, ¿no? Creía que es uno de los mejores carries de la región y ya bastante tiempo que queremos jugar con él y ha fitado muy bien en nuestro estilo de juego, ¿no? Y aparte de eso, ¿cuál es la otra pregunta? Sí, ¿qué hacemos afuera del Dota, no? Salimos a comer, conversamos, salimos a comer, es lo más normal, si salir a comer los 5 a cualquier restaurante por acá cerca, después de las prácticas. Sí.
So he says that with regards to Parker, Affliction, or previously known as Axel as well, he had his eyes on Parker for a while. He was telling them like he was the best carry in the region, and so when they finally had the opportunity to snag him, they totally took him over Lumiere. Hence why the relationship was already a little bit built, and he's fit really well into the team. And then as well, he told me that to build a little bit of more team building, they often eat together. It's very common. They will go out, whatever restaurant they can find nearby, all 5 of them, and they'll eat together. And that's a team building activity. They usually chat outside, the Dota game in general, and just hang out as friends, and that helps them create cohesion as a team. All right, Oscar, as we get into the season, are you guys, how does it feel for you that Beast Coast and Awaken already qualified to TI? Does that motivate you to take the slot from them? Do you feel excited because of the qualifiers, because you know there's more chances for the rest of the SA teams, or do you just not care at all?
La verdad es que nuestro principal focus ahorita es esta Major. Queremos salir primeros aquí en el DPC y ir a la Major. Y sea, sobre el TI sí es bueno, ¿no? Pero nuestra mentalidad es ir a la Major y clasificar por puntos, de hecho. Y sí es bueno para la región que haya más slots y todo eso.
Okay, so he says, yeah, it's good for the region that there's more slots and everything, but honestly, their motivation, or our motivation, he says, is definitely to go to the major and qualify by points to TI. So they're actually hoping to be invited or to qualify by DPC points rather than getting in through close qualifiers or any other ideas. They want to get first in the DPC as well, and that's going to help them accomplish it. Okay, Oscar, thank you so much for your time. Would you like to give any shout outs to your fans, to your friends, anyone you'd like to shout out here in the interview before we end?
Sí, shout out para toda la gente que nos apoya, los amantes del Dota, para mi mejor amigo Kevin en casa y for you, esa es una frase especial que tengo, para etcétera. Sí,
Okay. So he says, yeah, thanks to everyone that supports them, especially thankful to his best friend Kevin. And you already heard the other part in English, so I don't have to translate that. Gracias, Oscar. Felicidades por la victoria. De verdad, te lo mereces. Así que mucha suerte el resto de la temporada, amigo. Cuídate.
Muchas gracias, hasta luego.
Yes. Oscar always a class act. Lovely man. You can tell he has a little bit of age because he always shows maturity in these interviews. And it's nice to see him succeed, right? When Thunder Awaken took him out after he's been playing with the same stack for so long, there's a little bit of pity when that happens. Like, Thunder Awaken is improving, but at the same time you go, well, what happens to Oscar now? And now that he seems to find a team that fits in with Infamous, it's nice to have like two really competitive teams in the region, on top of course, Beast Coast and Hokori, who are also getting to that level. How does it feel to you, Astini, as a South American resident, to see all these teams now starting to compete in the big stage, getting qualified to TI? Like, do you feel proud? Do you think it's something that was due for a long time?
Yeah, I feel proud. I feel happy to see. And like seeing Infamous taking the series out of Thunder, it means a lot for the entire region, I guess, because we have a very competitive DPC now. Like from the first match, it's going to be super competitive because there, as you mentioned, like Hokori, they can take a series out of Infamous, and then like you have all teams tying up. Infamous already showed that they can beat Beast Coast, and now we have Wolf coming from Division 2. It's a Brazilian stack that you shouldn't like sleep on them because the guys, like, they had the greatest result that SA has ever had. They had like a 3rd place on a major, and they are back. So I guess it's gonna be like one of the most amazing DPC we're gonna watch. Okay.
What a coincidence. Astidi, of course, he gets one coin every time he mentions the one Brazilian team in the upper division. Thank you, Astidi. So nice. Winter, you come from the SDA region where it's been this for a really long time, where like you have a lot of competition, like inter-regional competition, sometimes a little bit of struggle internationally. Are you starting to see the two regions that be quite similar? Because I know you tell me a lot that SA and SCA share a lot of similarities.
Yeah, a lot of the teams, they have very similar philosophies. Sorry, a lot of the teams here have very similar philosophies as the SA teams, the way they play, the heroes they pick, and overall they have the same weakness too. I always talk about the C teams. They do well in the region, but they don't. When they go out, they don't really have a good enough leadership. Like, they don't have good captains, or they are lacking in captains. And the same can be said for the SA region. But things have been improving. More teams are getting competitive, and it will only get better from here.
Do you think competition is important in the path to improving as a region? Like having a competitive region in general?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it pushes you push each other to get better, and when you don't have a captain, and even within the region, maybe it can be developed internally. Someone will step up and get better and get enough leadership qualities to become a good leader in the international scene.
I'm curious as well what you think of this for the top teams. Like, if you're like Beast Coast Thunder, that usually always qualified internationally, right? Do you think that when you had a competitive region and they might not always get the slot, does it hurt them a little bit, or do they actually benefit from having a lot of scrim partners and things like that?
Nah, it's definitely more beneficial for a team, like even for Beast Coast, to have a lot more competition within the region. It's just going to make them better.
Okay, that's very nice to hear, Winter. Thank you. And ending on that note, Astini already told us this is going to be the best DPC, and Astini is an analyst, so everything he says is true. Winter tells us the competition in the region is increasing, which is great for all the teams. If you guys want to watch us, we're going to be here every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. if you're in South America, or if you're the Western Hemisphere, if you're in Southeast Asia, like I usually am, or like Winter is right now, you might have to move it a little bit forward. But check Wikipedia. Is going to be the easiest way to do that. That's going to be the Division 1 times. We're also in Division 2 as well here. It's going to be on the very same channel, so you can watch some of the up-and-coming teams. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. We hope you enjoyed the wonderful matches. Thank you to our wonderful casters, Gareth and Lacoste as well, and to my panelists, Astini, Philippe Astini, and Winter Dota, that made this broadcast possible. And if you, of course, want to check out the guys who make this league possible, Epulze, we do recommend that you go to their site as well. They offer small competition. I mean, Epulze, the idea was to foster the growth of every region. So their goal right now is to foster competitions for smaller amateur regions. So they have weekend cups that are a little bit bigger, but they also have pretty much daily cups where anyone can participate. You don't need to be a high MR player. You just need to have the time to participate, and you can actually make money by doing so. And not just Dota. You can also play Valorant. You can also play, I think we recently added Mobile Legends as well, Counter-Strike. So there's a lot of options here on the Epulze platform. And of course, more are coming every day. Well, every month. It's not that quick. And we hope you enjoyed the broadcast once again. And we'll see you tomorrow with 2 more matches. Tomorrow is the double day for Division 1. Hopefully you join us again. Remember to follow the channel.